Time for Friday Night Marketing! We're gonna rock! We're gonna roll! Get real and bold! Come on, join the show now! It's about to unfold! Get raw, get real, get results now! We're the latest feel, making waves loud! On this stage, we ignite! Every Friday night, brand new fight! Get real, get results now. We're the latest feel, making waves loud. On this stage, we ignite. Every Friday night, brand new fight. In the spotlight, feel the fever. Every pitch and quest. Dreams are big, get bigger tonight. Push the limits, reach new heights. So grab your seat, don't blink an eye. 'Cause Friday night will touch the sky. Welcome! It's time for Friday Night Marketing Raw!
What the hell? Andy was here and Andy's gone. Oh no. Most likely Andy had to reboot their router once again. You know, it's Friday night once again. Here we are. Sitting back. I'm in my recliner today because, it's been a rough week. You go on vacation for 2 weeks and then come back to work and oh my goodness, it's twice as bad.
Yeah.
Hey, there you are.
Oh shit!
So it's like right before we go, you leave. I mean,
it was, yeah. I'm having computer issues at the moment. You're all over on the wrong screen now, and I can't get it across because I don't know what the frick's going on. Something with a multiple desktop. I'm going to move my camera over here.
I think what it is it's too much dragging and dropping.
Yeah, I've done something to screw my settings up, but now if I move anything around, it all fucks up. So I've got to work out what the hell's going on. Oh, this screen's got nothing on it but the blimmin' toolbar. And can I start anything?
Is it?
So can I do? Let me page over. Oh no, that's paging over that screen. How do you page over on the other screen?
Tab.
Well, it's control and arrows, but I don't know how you select which screen it affects. Oh, hang on. If I scroll you off this way, this screen over here works.
Yeah.
Okay, but now I can't see you. And if I click you back, you reappear there, and this screen goes completely black. It's just bizarre.
That sounds. Can you open up Chrome in the other one?
No, I can't do anything on the other one unless I change desktop, and then so it's whatever it thinks is meant to be on this desktop isn't, and I can't do anything about it. Can I? No, I can't. Oh, hang on. So it's putting you up on a tab to the side. Why is it doing that?
I know what the problem is. There were 700 Indians working their AI magic on messing up your computer.
I know what the problem is. The problem is I'm doing something fucking stupid because I don't understand my Mac. There's something to do with the multiple desktops that I've screwed up, and I don't know what it is. And I don't know how you get in the freaking settings. Oh, hang on, right, here we go.
It's the gray one that looks like gears.
Clean up, but no.
Good thing we have the coffee.
Now it's offering me to stack. I don't want to stack by desktops, do I?
No, you want to go side by side and expand.
How about sort by name?
I have mine mirrored because mine's the laptop down on the ground. And then I have my 16-inch display here.
I wouldn't even mind if I could get it into that mode. No, but
yeah, but mine's adjustable, and I'm in my recliner in the living room, so I can move it over here once I'm done with it. And I have a wireless keyboard with a touchpad on the side, so it's like I have a computer, but I don't. It's kind of nice.
Okay.
I just use my earbuds to hear everything. And oh yes, the keyboard is backlit. Oh.
I bet it's because something else is fucking running. So how do I get rid of? I can't get to anything on the toolbar.
Steve Miller did it.
Oh yeah.
And the toolbar on this side's hidden. I hate the computer user. Since its last update, something's changed, and I didn't bother reading the "Welcome to What's Changed" bit. So it's probably changed a setting that I don't know about, and now I can't figure out what is going on. Hello, Mr. Meller.
Welcome.
Hello there. Mac problems?
Yes.
Sort of a minute of it before. Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but you're all on the wrong screen. I can't get you on the right screen. It's
the comments.
Show view options. Does that do it? It doesn't do anything. What's the point in that? I'm going to have to go over to the other desktop, which means I can't see any of you. Then go into system settings. Right.
Do you really want to look at us?
Well, ideally. I tell you what I could do. I can pretend to be looking at you, but I can't see a thing at the moment. So... other than my stupid system settings. So talk among yourselves, and I'll get this fixed.
Not a lot to talk about. Glad the week's over.
As much. Yeah, I heard you guys weren't very well this week. I mean, the whole week. I wasn't too good myself on Monday, but yeah, got over it.
Tuesday, the weather changed here in Missouri.
Yeah.
And thunderstorms rolled in. The barometric pressure was going up and down. And that just messes with my headaches like crazy. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I went to sleep at 6 o'clock last night, woke up around midnight, was up till about 2, and then slept till 8 o'clock this morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, I normally don't sleep 12 hours in a night.
Sure.
But I haven't been getting much rest past few nights either. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
First day since vacation, I actually feel a little bit better.
I've had that myself though. When you go away and then you relax so much, suddenly you come back. It's like that whole shock to your system, isn't it?
The whirlwind. Yes, you get to reap the whirlwind of your vacation.
Yes,
and it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks is the longest vacation I've ever had.
Right.
One of these days, I am looking for a permanent vacation, but just saying.
We all want to get there eventually. I'm not sure. Not sure I ever will. But there you go. No, I had my medicine got increased this week.
Oh,
So took the first dose on Sunday. Monday I felt so ill. I felt sick. That was the real problem. I don't know, there was a sort of crunching pain in my gut. It only lasted a day because I was still getting used to the higher dosage, but still it knocked me out for a day. It's really bad.
yep. And that's me. My wife says, and I quote, "If you're not bitching, something's wrong with you."
Yeah.
She goes, "When you go quiet,
I think there's a lot of
something's
people who are
wrong."
like that. Yeah.
She goes, "I can tell when you're not feeling well." I was like, "Why?" She goes, "You don't say a word. You just shut up."
So other than that, how was the break? How was the holiday?
Oh, it was amazing. Alaska was beautiful. Seattle, as much as you may hear about the BS that goes on in there, it was probably the cleanest large city I've ever been to.
Really?
And I know why, and I don't know. Well, let me rephrase this. I know that I've seen probably 20 different people on three-wheel bicycles with the trash cans in the back and pickup
Sure.
sticks.
They're actually investing in cleaning the place up.
Well, I don't know if they're investing in it or they're investing in the tools and people who go through court order public service.
Okay. Sure.
They're utilizing them for cleaning.
Sure.
And which is ingenious. And the next thing is bottled water refilling stations all over Seattle. They don't want you to buy new bottles of water. They want you to buy a bottle and refill it everywhere. They have got them set up everywhere.
An idea, but I've never seen. No, that's not strictly true. I have seen some bottled water filling stations, but they're only in big airports and the occasional place like, theme park, that kind of thing.
Right.
But
right.
I haven't seen just on the streets would be great if they had those sorts of. I think in the UK though, people have piss in them, and that's probably why they don't do it.
Probably. The nice part about it is the ones that I've seen, they'll only activate if a bottle's there.
Right.
And then after you pull the bottle out, it still flows for a few seconds to keep the water cool. So if there's another person comes right after you, and then it has a meter showing you how many bottles it's saved by pumping through it.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
And I think they go by liters. So how many liters that they've saved. Which is, I like that because it gives you a return on investment, so to speak.
Sure, of course. Yeah. It's those little sort of psychological tricks as well, where you can, get people to do behavior that isn't bad for them, but is sort of beneficial to other people as well, just by having a few incentives along the way, just making things feel better. A lot of society's problems can be solved by psychology, I think, rather than spending sort of billions on infrastructure or billions on stuff. There was famously, we had HS2, which nobody really knows what's actually going on with it now, which was meant to be a big train. They spent billions and billions of pounds on putting this train in so that you can shave half an hour off a journey between London and Birmingham. It would have cost the same amount of money if they'd just given everybody a free glass of champagne and had stewardesses walking up and down the thing like you would on a plane, just to look after you whilst you were there. And yet that would have been a better journey or a better experience for a lot of people.
Andy's rebooting.
I thought you might be.
Yeah, it's. I also heard though that train will be able to make more service trips back and forth, thus increasing the amount of traffic.
The capacity is there, yeah. But it's not. There's a lot of issues with it, unfortunately. That the idea was a good one, but I think they started in the wrong place. If they'd gone at the top of the country and sort of linked those together, which really is needed, I think it would have been better. I think it would have given you the capacity need for the other one later on. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a bit of a mess, and I mean, most government things are a bit of a mess, so you kind of have to live with it.
Government has never been the most efficient.
No, that's true. That's true.
Government's never the most efficient on doing anything, especially running businesses. I've never really seen that happen, being efficient. But it is what it is in that case. At least it's something more infrastructure. Is it private companies building it, or is it the actual?
I think it's contracted, so it's private companies that have been got a contract from the government. Yeah, but of course, because it's government procurement, they have to do it at the lowest price possible, which still means you get.
So that means you get the fastest train running on the loosest tracks with the most moving parts made by the lowest bidder.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't see any catastrophes waiting to happen whatsoever.
No, I'm sure it'll be perfectly fine. But it will be perfectly fine because we have all these planning laws, and that's another problem that we have. We've spent billions of pounds and not hundreds of millions, but it's a hell of a lot of money on building a large tunnel for bats because they live alongside one of the railways. Yeah. We've got some really strange planning laws and a lot of really strange restrictions that kind of prevent people from building stuff. It's
gotcha.
In fact, they would. There's a review of it at the moment in going through Parliament, and they were talking about the planning application for one particular stretch of this railway cost more money than it cost. I think it was the Netherlands or Sweden. To build a whole line, similar sort of line, just this one planning application, which is why the cost has sort of ballooned.
That's insane. That's insane. So I actually have some photos of Seattle and Alaska, and of course British Columbia. So we stayed in the Beatles suite at the Edgewater Hotel. They stayed there in 1967.
Okay.
Of course, there's Abbey Road and all this, and like lots of photos and cool stuff in the room. That's my daughter and her boyfriend. This is me and Susie. Pike's Marketplace in Seattle is where they throw fish. Really cool place. We went there. Right across from it is, of course, Starbucks. Let me go back one.
Right. Is that the original Starbucks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's the line to the original Starbucks, and it went all the way around to the end of the block. And
that's ridiculous because it's not going to be any better than any other Starbucks.
And I did get a souvenir coffee cup.
It's like the McDonald's of coffee shops.
Yep. So the Edgewater Hotel, that's Patch, and it's Emma and her boyfriend Dustin. Everything in the hotel was themed, come together, of course, Beatles themed. Space Needle was very cool. I enjoyed the Space Needle. You get up on top of it, looks like you're falling down when you lean back against the glass. The seats that they have are built in a certain way where you basically slide back in them until your back's up against the glass. And looks like if you do a good selfie, it looks like you're falling down. You'll notice these metal ridges. Those are all the way around. So in case the glass does break, those metal strips will catch you. Which, of course, will make you feel like someone cracked all your ribs. But yes, it'll catch you.
But you'll still be alive, which is a good thing.
Falling to your death.
Yes, as alternatively falling to your death. Yes.
The fact they put those metal bars there means they have had the glass break before. So I don't know how.
Those are original. Those are original. This was built in 1962. All of those fins were all there originally. So they thought about this ahead of time. Yep.
Was built when craftsmanship existed.
It was built when people were like, "Yeah, we need to cover our butts."
We don't manufacture anything anymore. We just produce fucking influencers. We don't need any more fucking influencers. Right. Anyway.
So this is one floor down from the top, and this used to be a restaurant. And where they're sitting at used to be tables. You could dine up there, and the restaurant itself spins, and it's all powered by one horsepower motor. Spins the whole restaurant. That tells you the precision on the balance.
Yeah, pretty good.
Yep. So,
and if the motor ever breaks, you literally only need one horse.
That's it.
Hook it up.
or jackass. So yeah. The Seattle Aquarium, awesome. Loved it. And then cannot remember his. I'm trying to remember the name of this artist. I'm sure she's on here somewhere. But all of it's all glass.
There's a famous glass artist called Steve Kahuli.
That's it. That's the Kahuli Gardens.
Oh, it's a guy. I think his whole family does it now. But I was just saying because that looks just like his work.
This is called the Kahuli Gardens, and it's right next to the Space Needle, and magnificent work. And I mean gigantic as well.
He toured America doing exhibitions, and I went to one in Charlotte, and it was the most. I was like, someone said to me, "Do you want to come to a glass blowing exhibition?" I went, "Not really. It sounds dull as fuck." And they went, "Trust me, this guy's work's really something else, and it's worth coming." And I went, "I'm not doing anything else, so fuck it, let's go." One of the best outs I've ever had. Absolutely astonishing. Not only did he have all of those things up, but he was doing a live demonstration of blowing. He was making stuff. And we got to meet him and everything else. It was amazing.
So this is mine and
was
Susie's
also over
room.
here in Jerusalem. We've seen him over here.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to buy any of his pieces, to be honest.
No. Well, they're gigantic. You couldn't fit any of them in your apartment.
Well, no, even back then, he had smaller pieces, but they went for a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I could have afforded one, but it wasn't the sort of thing I thought it was wise to spend the money on.
What you should do is go to the glass blowing place at the Isle of Wight, and you can get something for 30 quid.
Exactly.
Genuinely, we went there, and it was actually really nice, and we've got a lovely.
And there's a glass blowing place. There's one down in Devon somewhere as well, Totnes Way.
We went to that recently, yeah.
I've been for years.
They're great.
House of Marbles, isn't it? And that lot, the glass people.
House of Marbles doesn't blow the glass, but no, there is a place in Devon that does glass blowing. It's quite famous for doing glass blowing.
Yeah.
House of Marbles is interesting. Lots of games and stuff, and old games as well. As you walk round, there's just loads of different. This was a croquet set from the 1800s or things like that. Just
it's a fascinating thing, isn't it? And you get to, and I actually really appreciate those old games that were just played with a wooden board and some marbles or some pegs.
Same here. I think it reminds me of going through my dad's old Magic magazines from back because he was born in 32, and he got into it when he was.
My mom was born in 32.
Post-war, post-war Magic magazines, which were the first ones he'd have been able to get. So there's still that style and that feeling of them. So,
I've got old 1950s and 52 Genie magazines that were my grandfather's.
Right. Oh wow.
And they are fascinating to look at, and and when you look at what's out there now and how far those things have come on, and yet so much of the modern stuff is based on the stuff that they were doing back then. There's nothing new, just getting reinvented.
You can still find the odd advert for something, and you go to a convention and look, there's somebody selling a new version of it. It's crazy, but it's great.
I haven't been to a convention for a few years now. Maybe should go to try and aim to do Blackpool next year.
Bristol's not that far away from you.
When's that?
I can't remember, but it was at Weston. Well,
Winter
it didn't
Garden.
used to be at Thornbury. Yeah, Winter Gardens at Weston was always
Yeah. Where the
quite a
old
nice
Supreme
day.
Day used to be when I was a kid. We used to go down to the Supreme Magic Day and see Edwin and whatever flapping about trying to sell that bang on piece of shit.
Wow.
You-
Yeah, I mean, I've lost touch with everybody who Dad knew magic wise because it's just
Well-
not something.
I don't keep in touch with many. Occasionally, one of my old magic buddies will be working on a project because I've got friends that have been around in magic for a while, and one of them has, well, more than one of them have done consultancy on TV things and whatever else. And occasionally they'll just call up and they'll go, "I pick your brains." And you go, "Yeah, sure." And we ramble on about how they're going to achieve something, and then you just go, 9 times out of 10, I sort of will go, surely it's easier if you just do that. And then they'll go, "Oh, but we can't because of this." And then you just come up with a solution, kick it around. And
Yeah.
I've been involved in a few of those fun. I love inventing and creating still and coming up with solutions. But I'm done with. I'm probably done with doing magic books. I have written up the stuff that I created. Got one original slate. I've got, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know that I've got another. I don't know that I want to write another book on it.
It's fair enough.
So I just like sticking with a few things. I meddle with it still, and I like playing with some of the new stuff that's coming about. And there's some very clever creators out there that are taking things to a whole new level.
You won't
The
see
only
that.
thing I dislike.
You'll see the Pendragons doing another illusion thing there.
I'm really not a lover of mobile phone magic.
I've not seen a lot. I mean,
There is some
it
really
seems a bit
clever-
too easy because of the stuff that you could do with a mobile phone anyway.
Well, exactly, and these things are made using hacks or exploits, but without setting off alarms. Or they're going to sites that look like a site that isn't really, and things like that.
Yeah.
So you can do things on the spectator's phone, and there's some very clever stuff you can get. But I'm just like, yeah, but it's not really magic; it's hacking.
It's
Which
technology.
I also love. I mean, I love hacking, but it's like, yeah, so you can take
Speaking of
control of
which-
someone's phone and display a picture, and that's your card they pick. Great, but to me, anything that uses tech is just like, well, you've obviously connected something or got something on there somehow.
It's too
even
easy
if
for
I don't
people
know
to
how.
kind of guess how it's done
And if it's their
without
phone,
there being any.
you're like, well, you could have any
Right.
fucking app you wanted installed on that.
Yeah.
So I don't think it doesn't.
Speaking
Go
of
on.
hacking, the Switch 2 came out today. It was hacked
if
within
you-
about 3 hours.
Yeah,
Someone's already posted the firmware online.
Yeah.
I think I know. I think I know who did it.
Do
but
you?
I do.
There's
We all know him. His name is George Wickens.
I doubt he was that smart to have hacked. But the thing is, that have you seen the license agreement they make you agree to on the Switch 2?
I am so glad that I didn't go, oh, I'll get a Switch 2.
Yeah, me too.
instead
You
of the
don't
thing that I
own
got
a thing.
because
You
no.
own nothing. You have no
they
right.
can brick your device if they don't like what you're doing with it. It is
Yes.
crazy. Absolutely
So
crazy.
where these people, he might have leaked the firmware, but you so much as tweak or change it, and their servers detect it.
Yeah, that's it.
You're gonna. That's a what is it? 400 quid brick.
Mhm.
Because it's proprietary hardware. It's no use for anything else.
All right.
Yep, you don't own it. You basically
And you agree
Bought
to
the
those
rights to
license
use it.
terms when you buy one and turn it on.
Yeah.
And there are going to be a lot of
the big
Well,
irony to that is
The-
that
the-
people in the sort of emulation world have already figured out that the new version 2 versions of a lot of games make it easier for Android devices to emulate them.
yeah.
there you
And
go.
there was a brilliant news piece today. GameStop has been fulfilling pre-orders. They have smashed a load of Switch 2 screens because they stapled the receipt to the front of the box.
Oh,
So there's no protection on the
No.
actual box.
Well, not between the box. You've got probably
Not
a
between
bit
the box and the screen.
firing at each end, so that cable will give. And if enough force, if you've got to push the stapler against it, it needs
Quite,
something to meet
yeah.
the other side. So it's going to
And it's
hit
in the
the screen.
screen.
Of the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't
Oh,
make
that is
it up.
brilliant.
It's been plagued with issues, this particular launch, but
And
yeah,
do you know
it's
what?
been,
In some ways, I think when companies get to the point that they wrap something up so much like that, they
Mhm.
fucking deserve everything they get.
Yeah.
Because what will happen?
probably.
People now, it becomes a challenge. First of all, well, fuck you, Nintendo. You're not going to let me
Yeah.
own everything. I'll take it, and there's nothing. That's, people feel that way. So it makes hacking it okay. The firmware's already out there. And as you said, it takes 2 minutes now to run that firmware on another device and do some coding around it to get around any special shit they've got. And you can emulate the Switch 2 on other hardware that's way better than the Switch 2 and cheaper.
Someone is going to have an emulator out for it sooner rather than later.
Of
They're
course.
going to have problems with it because every emulator that's come out for the Switch so far has had some sort of legal action against it. But still, there'll be emulators out there, and there won't be a lot that Nintendo can do about it. So,
The cleverest one Nintendo ever did was the N64 and the microcode thing, because that just makes it very difficult for anyone to emulate well. You can get a few games. All the base games are easy, but anything that
anything
uses
Mario
microcode-
is actually pretty easy, which is ironic, really, because
yeah.
but people have been doing Mario Kart recently. They've been emulating that, and it looks brilliant on the same sort of devices that I've got. Yeah.
Mind you, to be honest, if you're going to emulate Mario Kart, you're probably best off emulating like the GameCube version, or one of them were pretty good.
Well, I think it was the first Wii version was the kind of the best balance of the two. The new one's great fun and everything, but it doesn't quite have the same feel,
Yeah.
But yeah, that
And the
first
Wii,
Wii,
the Wii,
feeling
thankfully, isn't difficult to emulate because it's a set bit of hardware and a disc, and any data that you can do, you can recreate. So, and that's people have, and obviously GameCube ran the Wii. The other way around. It can run as backward compatible.
We ran practically everything that came before it, if you really wanted it to.
Yeah,
it was a really good console, actually.
My sister,
Nintendo have done in a while.
Yes.
My sister and her husband, they have Mario Kart Live.
Oh,
They
right.
have the remote control cars.
Oh,
You
yeah.
set up the obstacle course, but you watch the TV because the car's got a camera on it.
Mhm.
And they could drive just like you're playing Mario Kart on the game, except it's in real life. So you could set up your own courses, full 9 yards.
It's a great
Well,
idea. That's fantastic.
The other little thing I've got into I'm getting into in quite a big way now is Raspberry Pi Picos and the real low power.
Right.
It is fucking amazing what you can get one of these buggers to do, and that's like an £8 computer. I mean, okay, you've got to put it on a board and do some other stuff, but so I've got a development board, which has got all the sensors and different things on, so that you can play around with it. I'm getting into doing stuff with that, and I've got that other thing. The Pico Calc is on the way, I think. So, it is astonishing what power you can get and what you can achieve out of such a little processor. Anything you can do with an early
Combine that with an
16-bit computer.
Arduino.
Well, it just gets phenomenal how much stuff you can do and prototype up and whatever else. And what's this? Tom Clock, they're all struck down with this strange cold thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. I haven't had the coldy thing, but I've had it started off as just general, like I felt really fatigued and all my muscles ached, everything fucking hurt. And then I don't know what I did. I picked something up, but I've really fucked this shoulder up. But I've worked it out. Today's been the first day without any painkillers, and it's tolerable. But I'm having to operate the computer mainly with one hand, and sort of keep this. I'm thinking I might stick it in a sling, because if I hold the arm up, it really helps. So I'm probably going to try I was going to go and check Amazon out for one of them.
Mr.
Hey.
Oh, shit. Hang on.
Hi,
Sorry,
Adam.
I
You removed him. My goodness, what a great person you are.
I know. There we go. Hello,
Hey.
Stephen Rockwellhurst. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you guys?
Better
We're
than
all
I
right.
deserve.
But you know what everyone really wants to know, don't you?
Has George Wigan given David Kirby his money back yet?
Have
got
you
more-
got?
No,
He's got
No,
more
but-
chance for a blowjob.
Oh, well.
fucking cunt
No.
still hasn't done it.
Check back next week to find out.
Has George Wigan given David Kirby his money back yet?
For you, George. For you.
So,
Yeah, just short before Stephen appeared, I wanted to mention that the Harrys had a 3-2 lead versus the Baldies, but now it's a draw again.
oh, okay. I never knew it was even a thing.
So
It's a Friday evening, everything is a thing.
Everything's a thing on a
Are we-
Friday night.
are we live on YouTube?
At the
Yes.
moment,
Yeah.
Oh, AppSumo sucks. But then you all knew
Okay.
that anyway.
Well, tell us why then. You've had
Okay.
one bad experience. What's happened?
Okay, so first of all, I've applied a few times to be an affiliate and got turned down. They're just impossible to become an affiliate with them for some reason. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and launch a product on there. Now they've got lots of WordPress plugins on there, and they can't. They have a webhook system that they told me would work with Zapier. It doesn't work with Zapier. It's a pile of shit. Comes back with an error. And then after all of that, I create. They say, well, create coupon code. So I do that instead. So I do all that. I submit the product, and they come back and go, your WordPress plugin. Now remember, it's a WordPress shortcode plugin, right? And there's been others on there, along with other WordPress plugins. Apparently, it doesn't fit for what they sell on AppSumo. Fancy that? It's a lifetime deal and a good price and all that. Doesn't fit. I can't even respond to them to say, well, can you give me a bit more information, or can I tweak the offer, or can I do anything with it? So the bottom line is, I've just built an automation that's going to go out and comment on every one of their bloody videos on YouTube of what I think about AppSumo, and it's running
Yeah.
right now.
Because that's a good use of your time.
It's all automated. I just press a button.
You should have set it up. I wouldn't.
I already had it set up.
Really, what you're saying is, I submit the product to AppSumo and they didn't like it, and now I'm pissed off at them. It's just one of those things. Move on.
Oh no, absolutely. But I mean, the whole system sucks. That's the thing.
well, I know what you're talking about with the coupon codes, because you have to give them 10,000 coupon codes.
1,000. You have to give them 1,000. So what I did,
then
I
shorten it then, because it used to be 10,000.
Used
Yeah.
to be 10,000.
So I built an automation that could create 1,000 Gumroad coupon codes, because I couldn't suss out their API. I'm not that technical, so I used TaskMagic just to go in and create 1,000 of them, and then give me the CSV and upload it. All automated. Just did it once, left it running, and so I did what they said. I followed what they said, and they still went no. So I've cancelled my Plus account membership. They can go shove their AppSumo up their ass and get lost. I'm not buying from AppSumo again, even if it's an amazing product. I'll buy it direct if I can.
I'd rather cut off
I haven't
my
bought from them for ages because there were so many of them that were doing what IM happened. It happened in IM. So you get a product and then all of a sudden it's disappeared again.
Yeah, but
Absolutely.
Steve, you missed at least 5 new page builders.
Oh,
That's true, but you know,
The
I
thing-
might be making my own, so who cares?
the thing with that,
Yeah.
the thing with AppSumo as well is the fact they keep your money for 60 days now to make sure that no one gets ripped off. But the moment 60 days are up, guess what? You can close your product down and say up yours to all the customers.
Well, they do. They take the risk. I get that. That's being somewhat. I mean, they've got to protect themselves to some degree. The thing is, whether you like AppSumo or you don't, from a customer's point of view, you'll be hard pushed to find customers that don't think AppSumo is really good. Because if they have had something that's gone south, AppSumo have looked after them, they will refund it. I've had them.
That's
I've
not
not AppSumo with something that was a year. And it had vanished. And I went back and I said, no, it's outside the 60 days and everything else. But this was sold as a lifetime deal. I'm realistic. I don't expect anything to last a lifetime, but I expect it to last more than, say, a couple of years. And this hasn't. And they went, no problem. There's your money back.
Well,
so the customer service.
I didn't get my money back.
Oh, I've always found them to be very good. And so
yeah. And same here. I've had one piece of software I bought, and then 3 months later it was gone. Like you said,
3 months is understandable. Mine was just about a year and four days or something like that, and they got money back. I went, their support sucks because all they ever do is tell you to go and look at their documents. That's all they ever do.
Most of the answers are in their documents, so to be fair.
Not the answers you need, like why their API and their webhooks don't work with Zapier like they say they do.
Well, let me tell you this. I bought TARS whenever it first came out on AppSumo. That was 2018. Guess whenever I finally got around to registering and creating an account on TARS? 2020. I went back to AppSumo. And I was like, I didn't realize I had 90 days. They're like, we'll get with TARS and we'll make sure you get your account because you have paid for it. And TARS said, here's your account.
Yeah, there's many of scary stories on Facebook of companies you join them for AppSumo and then they go and change the goalposts.
There's stories on Facebook about everything, no matter how good or bad it is.
Yeah, I'm sure there's stories about me on there.
I think Billy Dar would do better running AppSumo.
Oh God.
I'm going to start doing posts called Chat Sumo. I think that might be quite good.
Well, don't put your energy in that. Put your energy in building your business.
I've been doing that anyway. So,
it sounds like you got energy to spare. Start promoting mine.
What energy I have got at the moment, which isn't a lot.
I know it. How you been?
Knackered all the time, headaches all the time, left eyes blurry, bit fucked really. But apart from that, everything else is good.
Yeah, but you're meant to be resting, and instead you keep working, you prick.
I'm not doing many hours. I'll be honest with you. I actually go out more to see friends and stuff than work.
You know what my doctor said about work? Don't look at computer screen.
Oh, sorry, I've got to talk to you like that, do I?
Period. He's like, I don't want you to look at a computer screen. For the 12 weeks you're off, you do not look at a computer screen. Okay?
I got told to try and leave.
He looked at his tablet and his phone a lot, though.
I got told a few things by the doctor. The first one, the worst thing was when I first went into hospital. And the first thing the doctor said to me when I finally got to see 124 hours later was ask me some questions. And I said, why ask me the questions? He said, don't you know? I said, no, what? He said, you got a brain tumor. And I went, holy shit. Then he led on to say it's a pituitary gland tumor. And then the last thing he told me was it was benign. I'm sure
the best way to do it. Shit someone up first and then work your way back. Always, that's how I do it too.
Well, you know why? They get the shock and awe.
Yeah.
The glazed look in their person's eye, that's the middle part that they're talking. And then you hear the last part. They know this. Tumor, benign. Everything else, well.
But in between,
doctor goes, you're going to die. And you go, eventually. Right, now the good news.
I mean, it's good news, but there is a 15% chance once they have sorted it, it could come back and be cancerous, is what he told me at the end, which was very nice of him.
Well, they got to, what was your argument? Did lie to you?
Oh,
They have
I'd
to
rather not
cover.
know.
They
I'd
have to
rather
do
not know, Harry.
CYA. They got to cover their asses.
Yeah.
But between all of that, I do sleep an awful lot because the fatigue's crap and the
Yeah,
headaches are
you're
crap.
meant to at the moment. You're recovering. You're meant to sleep a lot and rest a lot. You've got a serious brain thing going on. I had to learn that when I had my stroke, and I fucking hated it too. But you know what? The more you give into it, the quicker you get better. That's it.
And since Andy got better, Andy's had many more strokes, but not the type that he had in hospital.
See, I'm dreading Mum going in for a heart op. If the recovery period afterwards is going to be terrible because she will not sit down and do nothing, and yet she needs to sit down and do nothing. She's been told already she'd have to.
Is she getting like a stent?
She's 84. She's having one of her valves isn't working properly, so they're putting something in it. I think it is a stent to make that work properly. But she's also got an irregular heartbeat now, which she didn't have when they first.
For someone her age, it's almost natural to have AFib.
Well, she's always had this problem with her heart, with her valve, but they knew this 40 years ago when she had a thyroidectomy, and yet they didn't do anything because it wasn't really affecting her.
So she had thyroid cancer too?
Not cancer. It was it was overactive.
Overactive. Okay.
Yeah. So she had that whole thyroid removed, and has been on sort of tablets ever since. But she's always had this problem with her heart. They always knew about it, and suddenly it started to become a bit of a problem. And that was 2 years ago. And now it's moved to being a serious problem. And they've still not listed her for an operation. So it's a bit tense at the moment. We're not entirely sure what's going on. We got a message from the doctor saying, "Oh, you need to test your blood pressure every morning and every evening at the moment, and then send us the results." And so she's trying to get an appointment with the doctor, but that's just not happening either. So it is what it is.
Blood pressure is one of the worst things to keep monitor of because it's such a pain in the ass. You got to take your blood pressure, and then it's keep the journal. Yes.
I've had to do it myself when I was going on different medication. They've said, "Oh, just do this for a week," and it's been fine. But it's just it's it's a fairly constant thing with Mum at the moment. It's and we're both fed up with it. It's become a sort of separate thing that we talk about it like it's another member of the family, one that's not really welcome at weddings and things.
Right.
So. Back to marketing, Steve Mellor.
Yes,
coming up.
I need your help, actually, all of you.
All right.
I want to launch. I thought this was something you might be able to do online, and it might be useful for people to see what the process is. I want to launch in about a month's time, so that's any time after the 6th of next month. When do you think is a good day to do it?
Okay.
Probably the 14th.
Really? Because I wouldn't touch that with a fucking barge pole.
Right, let me. Right, a couple of things I'm going to do. I am going to try. Oh my fucking screen! I wish it would not do that. Okay, good. So let me get a munch eye first of all.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing this, just tell people briefly what it is.
So the whole idea is, I have seen so many people. In fact, ever since I started, people were putting out products that said, "This is how you build a list." Very simple. Everybody does it. Everybody's got their list building. I haven't, but maybe at some point I will. And what we don't do is tell people what they do when they've got the list. And I think that's where a lot of people get stuck. And so I've created this thing. It's called Emails Made Easy. It's not as easy as I would have liked because there's a lot of ground to cover, but it's a really fairly easy system which basically says mail at these times and use these AI prompts in order to put your promotion together. Nice. So it should just take the heavy lifting out of doing email promotions for people.
What's the price point on it, Dave?
But
it's same as before. It starts at $9.97 and then it's a dime sale forever.
Yeah. But Steve, isn't it the golden rule of internet marketing that as soon as somebody subscribes to your list, you have to bombard him with all kind of affiliate offers.
Well, this is the other great thing about it. By doing something like this, I can at least say to people, maybe don't do that. And one of the big thing I've sort of tried to do in this product is I've given people a prompt that they can put into ChatGPT, and they will get out of it a message to send to affiliates. Because that is such a big bugbear for anybody who is running a promotion. There's all of a sudden you get these things come in from. So I'm so and so from this place, and I've got 20,000 people on a list, and I make millions sending emails, and clearly I haven't sold a bloody thing. So that's always a big bugbear. So I've written a prompt to stop people doing it.
Yeah, and definitely have your subscriber list separated from your JV list, and don't send your advertising mails to your JV list, because that's fucking annoying. And if a marketer
That is really annoying. But that's a different
if a marketer
audience for me.
yeah,
I'm not
if a
talking
marketer-
vendors.
if a marketer is doing that,
Sorry, the 11th.
I'm not. If a
Have a look
marketer
at
is
the
doing
11th.
that,
You know what? That was very close to what I was thinking as well.
I'll tell you what, I'll talk through my thinking real quick. Because you got Craig Crawford on the 9th. And Craig's one of the kind of
Yes.
good guys, and I think he'll get quite a lot of support.
He'll do pretty well. He's moving to Mexico, you know.
Oh wow.
I just saw a post from him on Facebook earlier.
Justin Opay, neither here nor there. Logic Beam
Yeah.
Software's affiliate guru, neither here nor there. There's a few on the 10th, but Craig's is probably going to run a day or so. So
I
the
would
things on
imagine
the
so,
10th are dog shit. The
Well,
things
the other
on
thing
the
is,
11th,
Craig is on JV Zoo as well, so there's going to be a bit of a disconnect between that and Warrior.
true. And then you've got on the 11th, you've so far, I mean, this is so far. By then, there'll be 200 other launches. But
Of course there will. Of course there will.
Ali Blackwell with AI Site X, not anything that competes. And Income Up with Converge AI, again, not something that seems to compete. And then there's the only thing you've got the following day that's really might get a lot of support is Fire Launchers.
Yeah.
But the 14th, you've got Sean Donahoe, Todd Groves.
and Todd Groves. That's
And-
just like a hiding
Yeah.
to nothing, isn't it?
And they both, and one's on Warrior, one's on Zoo, and
One's
they're
on
both
Zoo.
paying premium to get their launch flagged and other stuff.
Of course they are.
I would have, if you're going to get a lot of the butt kissy affiliates are going to be on board with them that day. So, but the 11th, you've got 2 or 3 days.
And the
I reckon
11th is
you
a
might-
Friday as well. It's an interesting day to launch them. Fridays and Mondays seem to do quite well for me. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But
And, I
Okay,
mean, you
11th it is.
you could do the 10th. There's not really anything too bad
Probably.
on the 10th. It's just a day closer to Crawford. So that was my thinking.
But
I'm
no, I
actually-
do
anyone else's-
think you're right about Crawford. I think if he's going to do anything, it'll hit on the second day, won't it? The main mails will go out on the second day.
I
so
just think there's a
less
chance. I
chance.
haven't looked at his thing. I have no idea what it is, but I just think there's a
No, I
chance
haven't either.
some of the affiliates you maybe want promoting are probably.
Might jump on one of
be
those. Yeah,
converted.
exactly. Yeah.
And if you want to avoid that, and that's really what we're talking about here, isn't it? When you say what's the best day.
Well, this is it, isn't it?
So
That's
what conclusion did you come to prior to that?
funnily enough, the 11th, because it's a Friday.
Right.
Because the reason that I was thinking, I mean, obviously you don't want to compete with the really big accounts. So anything in blue, if you're trying to sort something out on Monday,
yeah.
don't touch it. But I'm thinking, people like Art Flare and MAGA Famine, they're not the sort of crowd that the people who promote for me would promote anyway.
No.
Uh,
Fire
Fire Launches is
garbage.
Fire Launches is PLR as well. That's the other thing.
Yes,
and
and
that's-
not really. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be a problem. That's the only bigger thing on that day, and that I don't think. And it's PLR and it's on AI advertising. It's not really even remotely connected.
People don't. I mean, as much as they should like advertising because it's the lifeblood of business, people don't like it. They hate it because you've got to spend money on it, so they don't do
The
it.
truth of the matter is, there really is very little need for PLR these days. Sorry. it's just how it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, we're wrong.
Soren,
Do you remember it?
Soren's been contacted me recently about his products and their PLR now. He's doing a lot of PLR. I can't, because all of my list is talking about AI, I can't really justify doing something that's sort of kind of that sort of thing.
The thing is, I'm not saying that PLR doesn't have a purpose. It does, but you've got to have a real distinct idea in mind. I'm not going to buy PLR just because someone's promoting it. And to be honest, I would just, if I thought they were onto a topic that was that hot, I would be over on their sales page. I would feed that into Deep Agent. And then I would say, write me some content on this topic for a blog or for Medium or for whatever. And it would, so
you know what?
You just don't need to buy PLR.
I did actually buy some PLR this week. And it was it's something that I'm intending to build into something else. But it is it was a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, which did stuff. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to try and take that and I'm going to try and use AI coding and code that up to be a full application. But so I'm just I'm using their formulas so that I know what the right formulas are. But it was really useful,
Stephen B. In the chat, I just put a link. It's a product on AppSumo on how to promote and sell products on AppSumo.
That is hilarious.
That is fantastic.
Maybe I should make
Chinese student.
Maybe I'll make a product like that and put something inside to capture everyone's email address. Here's your coupon code.
I'm just saying, there's the product right there. How to sell on AppSumo. If apparently you don't know how.
Yeah.
How to sell an AppSumo or not.
Or not. So you could create one how not to sell an AppSumo.
And then put it on AppSumo. It won't get approved.
There you go. Sorry, I had to do that. I saw that. I was like, I've got to put that on there.
So, does anyone want to invest in my new AI startup that builds software for people? Basically, I've got 8,000 Asian kids in a fucking basement, and but they're really good coders. So
they'd have to be.
No, but we're going to put this in as it's all being created by AI. That's because that's going to be the name of every single person that works for us. AI. AI, go do this. AI, go do that.
It's actually a bunch of Sikhs that are doing it for Andy because it's called Deep Sikhs.
Nice.
That's my crap joke for the day done.
Dum.
Hey! The crap jokes are the USP of the Germans. Don't take that away from me, also.
No, the non-humorous jokes are
On the Hounds and Heinz Bunsen burner.
You need to. I think they may have an AppSumo book for you too, Volker. How to actually tell a joke that gets laughs.
Should I launch on AppSumo?
No.
I think
because the only thing I remember today, it's the 80th anniversary, where the American, Canadian, and British delegation arrived in northern France to talk about legitimate security interests with Adolf Hitler.
Oh God, let's not mention the war.
Oh, why not?
I was thinking maybe
at least
What a load of old shit!
we should launch on AppSumo how to walk like a German. That'll sell well.
Oh dear. No,
I'm in front.
I think German versions of jokes are better. Like, my dog has no nose. Don't be so ridiculous.
Boring.
It's certainly not the Jews.
Yeah. That reminds me of Monty Python's Hungarian English dictionary.
Yes.
When is a room not a room? When it's a gas chamber?
Okay, well, there is a huge. I'm going to go back to Alaska. Huge Polynesian influence on Alaska. Did you know that?
No.
Yes. Let me show you before I get off here because I'm getting ready to leave here in just a few minutes. I share my entire screen because, fuck it. And these are orca whales. Those look like Polynesian tattoos, do they not?
They do.
Yeah.
Let me continue, because there is a lot that I love king crab. A lot of huge Polynesian influence.
Big
Totem
migration.
poles are more Aleutian, but yeah, just from what I've seen there, a lot of the artwork that's there was all Polynesian. But yeah, it was. Now, of course, she doesn't have any of the other artwork that I put up there. She doesn't appreciate my photos.
So indication if there is a different race there, right?
Makes two of us.
This is,
Anyway,
is this like one of those holidays where, back in the day when you'd have a slide projector and you go on holiday, have them developed, and then get everyone around to watch your holiday back? Is that what,
yep, you're enjoying my holiday. And there's some orcas.
this is us.
Mum still does that.
Have you got a
You
picture
make
of an
DVDs
actual
now.
orca as opposed to a drawing tattoo of an orca or something that's been cut in the shape of one?
No.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. See you next week if you're watching on YouTube.
We'll just leave